you have maybe just one producer delivering a particular product. And when I say concentration, we're basically saying there are very few players in the market. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is a bad thing when those players are actually not competing. I'll give you an example of what's happening in the Zambian market currently. We have very few producers of stock feed for animals, birds, and so on. And what you start seeing is that when one increases the price, the others follow suit. And that's because there are very few. So there could be tacit collusion, not necessarily that they're sitting down together and agree, but just the fact that there are very few producers and they can easily get information from one another. It makes it very easy for them to, collude in a way, and that is not good because they are not competing. And so we find ourselves that a lot of information or a lot of cases, a lot of sectors in the agri-food sector are like that. Very few players and not as much competition as we would like to see. There's been a war in Ukraine, and that has caused, food prices to go up. There has been COVID that has caused prices to go up. The question has been whether the level or the quantum of that price increase is really caused by Ukraine and the Ukraine war, or really caused by the COVID pandemic. And what we see is that from past studies, what we see is that the quantum of the increase in Africa, where competition is not as much, has been larger than anywhere else in the world, where there are a number of players. You see, if in Africa you're seeing almost 100% increase in the price of the food, and everywhere else you are seeing a 20% or 30%, then there is a problem there, you see. So that's what competition can do. It can actually reduce the price if there's competitivity in the market, and of course quality products and goods that are offered to the consumers. When you're looking at laws, and each country has its own laws. So the problem has been that these laws will only pertain to your country. However, the businesses know no borders. The competition authority that is operating in a particular jurisdiction is bound by that particular jurisdiction. They can't say, okay, there's anti-competitive conduct that's happening in a different country and it's affecting my country. How do you then, as an authority, go to the other country and enforce the competition law? You can't. So this is where now the regional law comes in, because the regional law will cover the regional bloc. For them to cooperate, you need reliable data. You need market studies such that both the regional and the national authorities know exactly what is happening on the ground to be able to actually enforce, whether it is at the national level or it's at the regional level. It's not it's not necessarily a good thing that you just have experts at the regional level. You also need experts at the national level, because whatever the regional level is doing has to be fed from what the national authorities are doing. The AU has recognized that it's not just about COMESA region or ECOWAS or SADC, but you need a continental competition body. So you have the African Free Continental Free Trade Area, which has come up with a competition protocol that will be looking at now the competition at the continental level. And eventually, I would want to believe that the continents will then be able to, collaborate among themselves, Europe, the USA, Africa, Asia, and so on, to be able to tackle global anti-competitive conduct, because there is such a thing as a global cartel. You need to build that competitive culture so that people, right from the word go, can see that there is need for competition to be there. The second thing is to properly budget or finance the competition authorities, build capacities. You need to build capacity, ensure that they are able to carry out these investigations, be able to reject mergers that are anti-competitive, and have the political will of the governments to support their competition authorities.